going to demonstrate is what I call a supine psoas march. So I'm actually going to show, excuse me, I'm getting over a little bit of being sick. But I'm actually going to show a psoas march, which the psoas is one of the main hip flexors. So in general, I guess I could just call this a hip flexor march, but whatever. I'm going to show the supine version, which means you're on your back, and I'm also going to show a standing version. So the deal is you want to master this exercise in the less challenging position first prior to going to standing. So I'm going to show a few things there. So this video might turn out to be a little bit lengthier than what I expected, but oh well, that's for y'all's benefit. So we're going to use a yellow miniband. So this is the lightest resistance. You're going to place it over the arches of your feet and the insteps. And then from there, you're going to lay back. So I don't have my dog up here today, otherwise he would be up in my face right now. So main thing here, when you're laying on your back, what I like to do with clients is I want them to go palms up with the arms out at the sides. Just because if you go palms down, that feeds into shoulders being rolled forward and poor posture. So I feel like for some people, this gives a really good kind of additional opening up of the chest. You want to make sure that you're not falling into extension this way and letting the pelvis tip forward and the rib cage flare open. So in order to combat that, you need to think about bracing the core. The leg that you're not moving is going to stay locked out and nice and tight. Glute is engaged. So if you think about being long through that leg as you drive the opposite leg up and towards your chest, that's a good cue. So if you notice, both of my feet are dorsiflexed. I'm not pointing my feet, okay? I'm also not letting my feet turn out like this. So everything's basically running parallel. So the analogy I use a lot on certain exercises, but it works here too, is that it's as if we're like laying on train tracks and everything's lined up with the train tracks going this way. So we wouldn't have anything falling out to the side. What you're doing here, so once everything is gotten, you put it in position, you're going to take a good deep breath in, and then you're going to hiss out a little bit as you pull this leg up. So if you notice, I'm able to get this thigh perpendicular to the floor. I'm in dorsiflexion. I'm not turning the foot out funky. And also, my knee is pretty much stacked over my hip here. I'm not falling in here. Everything is maintaining its stabilized position while I'm adding this dynamic component to it. So I'm stable on this left side while I'm driving this right leg up and moving through that hip. I like to have people pause for a 1 or 2 count, and then just return to start. So when you return to start, you want to make sure that you're not doing anything like letting the pelvis dump forward and relaxing, okay? And then that means that your next rep would be set up in the wrong position. So try to maintain that pelvic neutrality, there's your word of the day, and be a stickler for the technique involved here. It's not complicated, but there's a lot, that can happen too. There's a lot going on. So that would be the first way of doing the hip flexor march. Second way would be to progress it to a standing variation. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use the wall for balance. So that would actually be an assistance. Taking the wall away would be a progression. So again, the setup is feet are in the band. I like to have clients stabilize on the side that they are balancing, the leg that they're standing on, and move the leg on the outside. So what the cue here, and I'll show show 2 angles, but you want to be long through the standing leg, and then make sure that you're maintaining a neutral pelvis as you drive this leg up. So I'm looking for parallel with the floor, and then coming back down. Everything should be still or quiet as you perform this movement. A lot of times what I see people do is they'll compensate and try to get more range of motion by either kind of hiking the hip up or collapsing in the stance leg or doing something crazy. If there's any movement through the torso as this is performed, the bottom foot might spin out or bend, or they can't keep this leg extended because they're tight. So to show from the side, we're just driving up, and this is all staying neutral. So you don't want to be pulled this way or back here. There shouldn't be any excessive motion. So you can feel that when you're doing this, and then also too, if you have someone that's watching you, they should call you out on that. Okay, so like I said, taking the wall away would be a progression and just doing it standing on your own without the assistance of the wall. So that's 3 variations on the hip flexor march or psoas march.